Hi there and welcome to Get Indie Gaming. We've made it to March already, and here today we're looking at our top 5 picks of indie games coming out this month. As usual, let's begin with our honourable mentions. Beginning with C4 launching in early access on March 9th. We've got a cheerful physics puzzle game where you're contracted to demolish structures in the most creative way possible. Another one headed for early access this March, Long Gone Days is a 2D modern-day character-driven RPG, combining elements from visual novels, classic shooters, and dystopian fiction. Available March 13th on Windows, PlayStation 4, Cube 2 is the sequel to the highly successful original. With 11 zones and many puzzles to solve, you'll move through the ruins of an ancient alien landscape, and with your manipulation gloves, you'll alter the structures to navigate your way back home. Described as a visually stunning love letter to numbers and the people that adore them, Cotrio, a one-handed puzzler, launches March 7th for iOS. It comes with over 80 handcraft levels, a relaxing soundtrack, photo mode, and no in-app purchases. At its heart, The Long Reach is an adventure game within a psychological horror with tinges of sci-fi ideology. Taking inspiration from The Lone Survivor and The Cave, this comes to the PC, Mac, and all of the usual consoles March 14th. The last of the honourable mentions for March, Lightfall is an immersive journey where you explore a forgotten world and gain insight into your mysterious past in a land of eternal night. Looking halfway between Limbo and Ori and the Blind Forest, you'll brave many challenges, ventures, and challenging foes along the way. With the honourable mentions covered off for March, let's dive into the top 5 picks for games hitting the shelves this month. In Welcome to Basingstoke, we find an isometric game about surviving a zombie takeover, all set within a town in southern England. Launching on 30th of March on the PC, Mac and Linux, you get to make your way through the smouldering ruins of the town as a number of different characters. A tourist armed only with a camera, a British policeman armed with his trusty truncheon, and many more, each with their own skill sets and individual flair. In terms of the gameplay, well, it certainly looks to be a tense and brutal affair, which mixes elements of stealth and arcade action. From the trailer and recent footage, there's certainly elements of the cutesy, however, within its art style. The zombies are more delightfully lovable than out-and-out scary. Even the death scenes are no doubt intended to raise a wry smile rather than a grimace. In a number of nice touches, the game also uses design iconography typical of British high streets. From the council-supplied wheelie bins, the currency being in pounds and pence, to the loading screens using a British traffic light system. Even some of the weapons you're able to use evokes images of many a UK high street come a Friday evening or Saturday morning. Leftover kebabs, sausage rolls and snooker cues can be all used to great effect. Having passed through the town on many occasions, we'll be intrigued to see if any of the local landmarks are included within the game once it's out. Way of the Passive Fist is a side-scrolling brawler, very much in the style of the early 90s, and unlike pretty much all of the games of its type we can think of, in this one you never get to throw a punch. Instead of bashing your enemies to a pulp, you're very much the pacifist, and while you're able to grab and throw projectiles at your opponents, this one really comes down to dodging, weaving, parrying, and getting your enemies to a point of exhaustion where they run out of stamina. At this point, you simply knock them over and move on. Naturally, the focus on defensive gameplay won't appeal to everybody, and we're fascinated to see how this will all come together in the finished package. What we do agree on, however, is how good looking the animations are, and also how awesome the accompanying audio seems to be. It's the first offering from the Canadian team at Household Games, and launches this March 6th on the PC, PlayStation 4, and the day after on the Xbox. A Way Out is scheduled to be released on March 23rd and will hit the PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and fits into that mid-tier pricing range of $29.99 US and 24 UK pounds. It's been developed by the Swedish team at Hazelight Studio and is published by EA. Yes, we know this isn't indie for the purists, and yet long-term viewers will know we tend to classify the scene via the developmental team rather than the publisher. Indie for us has morphed into something more akin to a cultural reference, which is certainly something again for another video. Anyway, A Way Out is loosely based on the two protagonists featured within Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. The game's based on the two-player co-op system. Each player controls one of the two characters, Leo and Vincent, as they seek to escape from jail by working together, separately, within full and split-screen viewpoints to remain undetected by guards, complete objectives, and of course, ultimately get out of jail. When you do, that's not the end of the story, where the game turns into what's likely to be a way about finding a route out of the dead-end lives these two men currently live in. Something to note, this game ships with no single-player element, and in a wise move from Hazelight, A Way Out can be played with a friend who doesn't own the game, where they can also join your playthrough at no extra cost. Sadly, there's no online matchmaking at launch, perhaps an option that might come at some point down the line. The forced nature of the co-op play is a brave choice and perhaps an interesting bet. That said, the ability to partner with a buddy without them needing to buy the title should help drive sales. At number 2, Agony. Recently featured at the pointy end of our most promising horror games of the year video, Agony is a first-person survival horror game from the Mad Mind studio based out of Poland. Set in hell, the trailers and gameplay footage look genuinely terrifying and unsettling. You play as one of hell's tormented souls and have the ability and powers of possession. You'll uncover your past as you control and coerce other demons as you come across on your path to redemption. Agony is due out on March 30th on the PC, PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and with it comes a stunning match of the visual grotesque with accompanying audio clearly designed and composed to evoke a sincere feeling of unease and disgust. The flayed corpses littering the ground, the grotesque creatures ebbing in and out of shot together with the floating demons. This one's certainly a visually and creative ambitious project. While horror titles of late, particularly within the AAA marketplace, have opted for safe gameplay and commonplace locations, such as old houses and abandoned this, that or the other, Agony and other games such as Scorn, also due out this year, seem ingeniously and mechanically looking to differentiate to offer fans of this much maligned category something compelling, nightmarish and downright weird. While it remains to be seen how Agony plays out, we stand by our early assertion that this may be one of the standout horror games of the year. From the Czech team that brought us numerous stunningly detailed point-and-click dialogue-driven adventure games such as Machinarium and Botanicula, this new one from Amanita Design, while still an adventure-based offering, is headed down a new narrative direction. The title refers to the game's central character, a Czech word for a ball of hair and dust that's pronounced Chuchel, and the dev team were kind enough via a tweet to confirm this is how it should be pronounced. Based on the character's looks, the word sums up this little fuzzball down to a T. While the gameplay is point and click, the developers have mentioned in an interview with Polygon late last year that players won't need to rely on solving complicated puzzles like in their previous games, and this time around the focus comes from the main character, its humour, animation and sounds. In that way, Chuchel is tipped as a crossover video game and short animated film. Having been in development since 2012, we're captivated by the visuals, the bright colours and the antics of the depicted creatures. Unsurprisingly, we're looking forward to see how the team behind it merge the humour with the gameplay, and also to be sure that the puzzles are fun, intuitive, and keep players entertained while maintaining the strength of what essentially are set-piece interactive comedy skits. This pretty looking game launches March 7th on the PC and Mac, with mobile versions expected to follow sometime in Q2. And with Chuchel taking the #1 slot for March, we're just about out of time for today's video. Many thanks for watching, and hope to see you here soon for more indie game goodness.